Hey, what's going on, guys? It's time to review the first kit from the HG Iron-Blooded Orphans line, the Barbatos Gundam. And I'll first start this review off by saying a couple things. Number one, thank you to MindFenix Hobby Store, as always, for supplying me with this kit to share with you guys. So a big thank you to them. And also want to preface by saying that I am now currently, the time of filming this, I am halfway through the 4th episode in the series, so if there's anything that happens in the latter half of episode 4, and then episode 5 will be out before this video gets out, I know, so if there's anything that happens in that span of time that changes what I'm going to say about anything about this kit, obviously just keep that in mind, or if you're watching this video much later on down the line, just again keep that in mind that at the time of filming this, I'm halfway through the 4th episode. So I have to say that watching the first couple episodes has definitely made me come around to the design of this kit quite a bit. It is a design that I was not particularly very pleased about when it was first shown off, and then even like later on as we're getting more stuff about it, it hasn't really been all that appealing to me. But seeing, of course, I mean this is not the first time this has happened, but seeing the design actually in action in the anime has really changed my mind quite a bit about it. It's very, I mean, if you guys have been watching the series, it's a really cool Gundam when you see it like actually in action, and I think that's due in part to just what Sunrise is doing with the story this time, just the anime, the series in general. The first episode was not all that convincing. It was pretty good, but I was still skeptical. But now that I'm a couple episodes in, I'm definitely saying that I'm really into it now. I really like what's going on with it currently in the series. Not sure if it's going to finish on such a high note, but currently it's doing pretty well, so I like it, so that's good. How I have the kit now, you can do a couple different configurations with this kit, of course. I think with this line, one thing that we're going to be seeing is a lot of different mixing and matching that you can do with it, of course. So one thing that I wanted to also make clear is that this is one option that you can do with it. This is kind of, I believe, how it's going to appear at the beginning of the series, if I remember correctly. Anyway, it doesn't have the shoulder armor, and the arms are also asymmetrical. The one arm has that shield bit. Now, I can't remember actually, now that I'm thinking about it, does it have that shield now at the first part, or is that going to be later? Anyway, we have two different options for the arms. So we have that arm that you can see on there, and then we have another arm which is just the same as the left, same as the right. So you have two different options. I'll show you that here in a minute when we talk about the weapons and accessories and stuff, because it's kind of an accessory, right? So yeah, the design is cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are certain things about the design that I like and don't like, and I think it depends on the pose too. I mean, this pose, I think just standing like this, it doesn't really do as much for me, but like seeing it in an action pose does more, because I think it just kind of is more reminiscent of just the action from the anime, which is really good. So when you get it in a like really cool pose, it kind of helps sort of maybe reminds you of the awesome moments from the anime, which just make the kit look cooler. Anyway, and I snapped the inner frame of this kit on the live feed. If you guys saw that, I did that live. So if you want to see more about the inner frame, you can watch that live video. I showed it off there. The inner frame is almost full. I mean, you can't make the kit stand as an inner frame, but it has almost a whole inner frame. The only area, let's go ahead and stop this. The only area that is not connected is here in the ankle. If you saw the live feed, or if you're gonna watch that, here where you have to plug the foot into the lower leg, you have to use this big front piece of armor in order to hold the polycap securely in there. You can try it without that, but the polycap is not really going to be secure. So other than that, it does have a full inner frame here, so really, really cool that they're putting that into an HG. It's a really, I think, like, for how the Gundam is like supposed to work, I think it kind of works really well. But I mean, like, it fits the design of the Gundam to have a full inner frame, so it makes sense, is what I mean. The articulation is really nice, of course, with it having a almost full inner frame. Head is going to be going up pretty far, pretty high looking, and then down about that far. As for stickers on this kit, it does have quite a bit. we can see, let me just cover those quickly. Of course we have a sticker there for the eyes. Here on the chest, that's a sticker, that logo piece, just sticking in there. On the side skirts, that red on the side skirt and the black on the side skirt, that's 2 stickers. Here on the legs, this front part, that's a sticker. On the side parts of the leg, this black on both sides, stickers there. And I think that's it on the actual mobile suit. Yeah, I think that's right. So some of those, I think, here on the side skirt, I think that could have been 2 separate pieces, or at least just like an all red piece with just a black sticker on the end, or vice versa. I think the side skirt could have been 2 pieces, but again, Bandai is trying to keep the cost down and keep the kits nicely detailed and nicely articulated and using the interframe and stuff, so I think Bandai is doing a good job with what they want to do. I think their goal with these kits is not to be going for 100% color accuracy with the parts. I mean, you're gonna have to do a little bit of painting, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. I think all of these parts, all of these stickers would be very easy to paint, like these designs here on the knees and on the chest and on the shoulders as well. It's all molded detail. It'll be super easy to paint. These parts, side skirts and the legs, very easy to mask and paint those. So really nothing too much to complain about there, just pointing out to you guys anyway. And then, yeah, head going down that much. Here in the torso, you can see we're getting some rotation here. It almost moves too easily, so that I think if you wanted to keep it in one pose or the other, you might have a little bit of trouble depending on how you're trying to balance accessories or which pose exactly you've got it in. The shoulders, the shoulder joint is going to be the type that goes up. It doesn't really move all that much. I mean, it's the same polycap that we've got with a lot of recent HGs, but instead of moving forward, it moves up, similar to the Revive RX-78-2 Gundam. It doesn't move all that much forward, but with the absence of shoulder armor, we can get a very nice high angle with the arm. Even with the shoulder armor on, I think you probably get that as well. And then double joint in the elbow, but it is only going about that much. Sorry, single joint. It is just one joint there. So you're only getting a little bit more than 90 degrees, but still pretty good, I think. Anything more than that would only be a bonus. This is more than enough, I think, to satisfy. Front skirts are connected, but of course you can just clip those in the middle to separate them. Back skirt, although very minimal, it's just nothing, doesn't move there. Side skirts move normally. The wrists are just polycaps. The legs are going to rotate at the top and bend at the knee, double joint here, and gonna bend about that much. So good bend there at the knee, I think. No knee armor separation there. Again, that probably would have been cool if maybe this front knee armor piece was a separate piece that would move up a little bit. Maybe in the 1/100 scale it's gonna have that. I don't think so. How the 1/100 scale is looking so far, it doesn't look like that's a separate piece. But I don't know, I could be surprised. I'll wait. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, getting back to the feet, the way that the feet are designed, they can go like almost like all the way around. They can spin that far to the sides. You're gonna have no problems getting these in a very, very wide angle. You could pretty much have the kit with doing the splits and with the feet flat on the ground. I'm pretty sure there's not any other kit in the history of Gundam that can do that. I can't think of any, so that's pretty impressive there. And then down, the toe is separated, so you're going to get a nice downward pointing angle there. This front ankle armor piece, very unique too. I like this just for how unique it is. The feet in general are probably one of my favorite parts of this kit. Very long and very big, very unique. Someone pointed out, I think maybe it was Justinius, to correct me if I'm wrong, that pointed out that the legs are very kangaroo-like, and he's probably not the only person that said that, but just like the shape of the legs and these really long feet, I could definitely see that. Wow, it could be comparable to a kangaroo. They're definitely very unique. So that's it for the kit. Let's take a look at some of these accessories that we've got with this. Now, as I said, we have an extra arm, so this is like the whole arm here. All you have to do is just unplug that part, plug it in there, and then just swap the hand. One of the negative things about this kit that I will say is definitely a negative point for me is the lack of hand options. So there we go, now the arms are symmetrical. So for the hands, what you see is what you get. This is the only hands that we have for this kit, just these holding hands, no open hands, no, of course it doesn't have a gun, so we don't really need trigger fingers, but Just the fact there's no closed fist or open hands, those would have been nice. But who knows, maybe in later versions, because we're obviously going to be getting more versions of this kit later on that will probably include more hands, we can hope. Anyway, and then we have more, well, not more, but we have different, well, not even different, I guess I can't really talk for the moment. We have our shoulder armor. I'm not really too much of a fan of the shape of this shoulder armor. Stickers on there again, but you know, again, I'm sure later versions will maybe have different shoulder armor. We'll have to see. That just plugs really simply onto this part here. So again, going to be very easy to swap armor with the grays. Of course, a lot of the grays parts are actually compatible onto this kit, shoulder armor as well as backpack parts and other things. I'm not going to show that in this video. In the review of the grays, when we're taking a look at the grays, then I'll show you how some of those parts fit onto this kit. So just wait for that. We'll talk about that a little bit later, as well as the option parts set. I have that as well, and when I review the option parts set separately, I'll show you how those fit onto here, as well as on the grays and the Schwalbe grays as well later on. So there's the shoulder armor on there. Pretty cool. I think you could probably move it up like this. I think is kind of more appealing for me personally, but then it kind of leaves a lot of empty space here. But I think with a little modding, maybe adding some parts coming down here, I think would make the shoulder armor a little bit more cool, in my personal opinion, having it up higher like that instead of like this one. But again, it's cool. Anyway, it looks better now that the shoulder armor is on rather than off. So we've got that, and then we have some weapons. Now, of course, here we have the Mace, which we've seen in action. Very cool. It's kind of too bad that the tip doesn't extend out like in the anime. If that was a separate piece that you could just kind of like pull out and click it into place. Wouldn't really be too hard of a modification, I think. Just cut off that sharp end and then use a piece of runner, and then just like maybe have to drill a hole in the top. You can just slide it down in there. Would be a pretty easy mod, I think, to make. Should we like just do a video? I mean, I'm sure you guys can figure it out by yourself, but if you want, I can maybe just try it and do a video on it. What do you guys think? Maybe if you want, I can do that. I'll try it and record it on video, and then if it works, then you guys can try it too. I don't know how well it'll work, but I imagine it wouldn't be too difficult. So I don't know, maybe I'll do a video on that, how to modify the Mace if you want. We'll have to see. So yeah, anyway, here's the Mace. Very simple, just two parts there, and it just fits into the hand. Shouldn't be any problem. Just like that. It's nice and heavy, of course, so you hopefully won't have too much in terms of weight issues on that. And then we have the sword, and now again, where I'm at in the series so far, we have not seen this sword yet. I imagine maybe it's coming in episode 5 or 6. Anyway, pretty soon I imagine we're going to be seeing this. Really like the sword. It's really simple, just one piece, and just fits into the hand the same. Or actually, no, I think it's maybe not going to fit in the hand. We're probably going to have to take the hand apart. And there we go. And that holds it very, very securely. Of course, it's just one simple piece, and it holds it tightly in the hand, so you're not going to have any problems holding that up. Now, we also have these two connection pieces. Now, these, let me change that here, there we go. These two connection pieces are going to go in the backpack for holding the weapons. These weapons, as well as the cannon. And we just plug these here onto the backpack, and like so. And if we just take the Mace, the one thing that is I've found this doesn't really hold, it holds the sword pretty well, but the Mace, it doesn't really hold it too securely. It just plugs in like that. I don't think if you plug into that part, it doesn't really make a difference. It's a little bit more secure, but it's just kind of hanging there like that. And when it's just standing, it looks okay, but I don't know, it's a little bit loose in there. I don't think it's going to fall off, but still just be a little bit careful with that. And then the sword just plugs onto there as well. I'll have to take it out of the hand again, like that. So pretty simple, pretty nice. And if you wanted, you could change the angle of these. So like if you didn't have the sword on there, just the Mace, you could make it like at an angle like that if you wanted. I think it looks pretty cool, rather than just straight on. And then we have two other pieces as well, and these pieces are not really of any use currently with this kit by itself, but if you have the option parts, then that's when these are going to be coming into use. So basically what we can do, what I just did by accident, but you just take this part off the backpack, and then we're going to connect this using this here, and then this onto here like that, and then this is how you're going to attach the cannon onto there. But again, we'll take another look at that when I review the option parts set, and because then we're going to use this to plug the cannon onto there to hold the cannon. So again, we'll take another look at that a little bit later. So that is it for all the weapons and accessories. Not really a whole lot here, but everything that we've seen in the anime so far, actually more than what we've seen in the anime so far. So anything that you would expect of the kit at this point, we have. So of course we are going to be getting more later, and we'll have to see about that. Now, with a kit with a nearly full inner frame and a very good range of movement, getting it up on an action base is going to be the best way to really show that off. Now, I'm sure actually with the very big feet, it does have very good balance on the ground, so you could probably get a really good array of poses out of this kit just on the ground as well. But as you guys may know, I love posing kits on an action base is much more appealing for me personally. And the way that this kit, I mean, even in the anime, it's so far we've only seen it fighting on the ground, but I mean, it's like jumping and flying and flipping all over the place. So I mean, having on an action base, even as like for land battle, is going to look pretty appropriate. So yeah, so far the mace is cool, I think, aside from the extending tip option. I wish the handle was a little bit longer. The handle seems like maybe a centimeter too short, but again, that wouldn't be too hard of a modification to make if you really wanted to. Pretty simple to just add, again, just a part of runner to just extend that a centimeter or 2 or 3, however long you really wanted to. But again, yeah, the articulation is looking great. Still love the way the feet look, the legs as well. Again, when they're not just like standing, they look, when they're like posed up like this, they look much less like a kangaroo. So that's good as well. And one thing that I did forget to mention, there is one more sticker up under the crotch there on that white part on the front crotch piece. There is a black sticker on there as well, and I believe that was it. I don't know. Oh yeah, on the backpack as well, there's a white sticker there on the center of the backpack. So anyway, there was a couple other stickers there, but again, it doesn't really matter too much. But if any of you guys were wondering about that, there's just a couple more stickers that I forgot to mention. Anyway, so yeah, took off those shoulder armor parts, switched back to the other arm. Again, I can't remember. I need to look if which one is the original arm, the arm that we're seeing in the first couple episodes. If it is the one that has the shield on it, I imagine maybe it didn't have the shield on it. Maybe that is later on in the story. But in the manual, they show that this arm with the shield on it with it without shoulder armor parts. So maybe when it gets the shoulder armor parts is when the arm goes back. I don't know. It's sorry you guys, I should know this going into the review instead of just like wondering about this when it would be really easy to just go ahead and check. I'm sure one of you guys will tell me in the review, hopefully politely. And yeah, so that's pretty much it about the posing and articulation. One thing I guess I haven't mentioned anything about is seam lines, but I don't really think it has any seam lines on it at all, really. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, there is seam lines on the forearms of the kits, whether you have this forearm on there or the regular forearm. Both of the forearms do have some seam lines on there, but I think that's pretty much it in terms of seam lines on this kit. So you're going to be pretty squared away when it comes to that. You don't really have too much work to do in terms of getting rid of those seam lines. If you want to get rid of the seam line down the middle here of the mace, there's that seam line there, but I don't really think anyone's probably going to mess too much with that. That'd be pretty difficult to get rid of anyway, it being inside that part. So that one's probably not going to be too big of a deal. Anyway, yeah, I think that's just about all that I can really say about this kit. So with that, it's going to pretty much do it for my review of the HG Barbatos. Great start to this series, I have to say. I mean, the anime series itself, as well as the model kit series. And I've at the point of reviewing this, I have already built the grays as well. I can tell you that kit is also great. if not better, just because I prefer the design of the grays. We'll be taking a look at that kit next, then followed by the option parts set, then followed by the Schwalbe grays after that. So quite a bit more of this stuff, and coming in the next couple months, November and December is just full of Iron-Blooded Orphans kits, so we're going to be taking a look at quite a lot more from the series. I can't wait. This kit is, if the rest of the kits are anything like this, then they're going to be great kits, great proposability, great detail, all of that stuff. Great weapons, especially with the weapon option part sets that we have. We're going to have all sorts of different options. Just the weapons that you get with this kit. That mace is cool. The sword is cool. If you want guns, we've got the cannon in the first option part set. The second option part set has a lot of really cool guns in that one as well. Can't wait to get that. So again, the name of the game with this series is going to be all about mixing and matching parts, swapping parts here and there, whatever you want to do, customizing your kits. If you want to keep them anime accurate, you can do that, or just making them totally your own, you can do that as well. So that's really cool. I mean, basically Bandai started that with the Build Fighters series, and I think it's cool that they're taking that and like putting it into like an actual like series, whereas like Build Fighters was, you know, its own kind of different thing. Now basically they're like taking that same kind of idea for the model kits and putting it into like a more kind of regular Gundam storyline. Now it's not regular in that it's usual. I think the story so far is unique enough. I mean, essentially it's not really all that unique, but what they're doing with the story I think is cool. Anyway, my point is I'm very pleased with this kit and can't wait to see what we're going to be getting more in the future. So thanks guys for watching. If you have any other questions, comments, leave those down below. Sorry for kind of mumbling on a little bit there for a minute, but just yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more from the series, the anime, and the model kits. So thanks guys, and we'll see you coming up soon. Yeah, bye-bye.